we're going to get started, everybody. Thank you for coming to our Tar Heel Citizens Community Meeting. My name is Abby. We're going to kick things off here. We have a full agenda and some special guests this evening, so I'm excited to get into that. I did want to first see if we had anybody from the Community Affairs Office on the call. I don't see Lindsay or Jan yet, so I'm actually gonna pass on their piece of the evening, and I'm gonna go to Officer Defio if he wants to speak up and give us a Zone 1 report.
Yeah, hey everybody. Thanks for having us. I'm going to give the stats and go over some of the reports that were generated for the last 30 days. Also on the line is Lieutenant Watts. He's a new Zone 1 executive officer. He's going to speak a little bit too. We'll answer the questions that you have after. All right, for the last 30 days, there were 7 reports generated in Troy Hill. There were 3 arrests. One of those arrests was a narcotics arrest. One of those arrests was a warrant arrest. For the Part 1 crimes, the only thing there was 1 robbery, and I'll touch on that, and there was 1 theft. In regards to the robbery, on the 15th of last month, a woman called 911 and she stated that she was robbed. She told the story that she was in a vehicle talking to somebody she knew, and they grabbed her wallet off the center console and ran with it. Her and her friend ran after them, and a fight ensued after that. Not too long after that, the other half called in and told the exact opposite story. There was another incident, and that's where the robbery comes in. There was another incident involving the same individuals, and this was over 2 days, the 15th and the 16th. For the hold on a second. Okay, I'm sorry. For all 3 of these incidents, one was in the 1900 block of Lowry Street, one was in the 1600 block of Lowry Street, and the other one was also in the 1600 block of Lowry Street. All 3 of these individuals know each other. This wasn't a random robbery with a random victim, and this is an ongoing dispute between these people. All of them are known to us. One of them I have been dealing with for 17 years. So I wanted to at least touch on that so you didn't hear robbery and think that someone's running around robbing random people. They're all connected, and all 3 of these incidences are being investigated. We're just not exactly sure which way the charges are going to go on those yet. For the other incidents, there was on the 27th of last month in the 1800 block of Lowry, there was an arrest for marijuana. Our detectives saw an individual walking down the street. He was smoking marijuana as he was walking down the street. The detectives got out and they made contact with him, and they ended up finding more marijuana on this person. He was arrested by summons, so he wasn't taken to jail. He'll receive paperwork in the mail and have to come to court for that one. For one of the other arrests was a domestic arrest in the 1300 block of Truax Way. That was on the 30th. It was a male-female domestic. The female called, stated that she was assaulted by her boyfriend. She had visible injuries, and the male was still on scene. Officers took him into custody, and he was transported to the ACJ. The last arrest that was on here was a verbal domestic in the 1500 block of Lowry Street. That was on the 6th of this month. Officers responded for a domestic, determined it was verbal between the 2 parties. Nothing physical had happened. But while officers were on scene, they learned that one of them had a outstanding arrest warrant for failure to appear, meaning they didn't appear to a court hearing that they were supposed to go to. So one of the males was arrested on site for that warrant. Other than that, that's all I have if anybody has any questions.
Thank you for the update. Anybody in the room have any questions? Anybody on Zoom, feel free to raise your hand or you can unmute if you have any questions. Okay, as always, we will share your contact information if anything comes up, and thank you so much for coming tonight.
You're welcome. I'm going to put my cell phone number and my email address in the chat. I do at most of the meetings. So if anybody needs it, it'll be up there. Lieutenant Watts, if you're on, do you have anything else to add?
No, Eric, you covered everything, and if there's no questions, I'm not going to take up any more time.
Thank you both, and yes, please feel free to utilize the contact information for the officers in the chat if you have any Zone 1 questions or needs. Okay, I think I see Lindsay from the City Office of Community Engagement on the call. Welcome, Lindsay. And I think Jan is here with us as well. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves and give us your updates?
Sure. I don't see Jan on my screen, but I know he is joining shortly. But he will be here. He's logging in. He did text me.
Okay.
Hi everyone, good to see you all. For those of you who I have not met yet, my name is Lindsay. I'm the neighborhood engagement coordinator for most of the north side, including Troy Hill. Happy to be with you all today. Just have a few announcements for you folks. First one is if you have not already signed up for the mayor's electronic or e-newsletter, it comes out out bi-weekly, so every other Thursday. So it should be coming out not this week but the following. It's a great way to stay in touch what's happening throughout the city, not just on the north side or not just Troy Hill, but just throughout the entire city, things that will be happening, things that happened or are in the making. Secondly, our City Cuts program is open and is accepting applicants. So if you know of anyone who is 62 or older, is a veteran, or has a disability that prohibits them from cutting their own grass, please encourage them to apply. The applications are open until Monday, this upcoming Monday, April 15th. You could visit the City Cuts website and just apply through there. Or if you need help, you can always call our 311 system, and they're more than happy to walk you through the waiver and sign you up there with you on the phone. And then my third update is our Community Festival Program grant. Again, the deadline for this grant is next Monday, April 15th. This is a grant that's ran through the City Parks Office of Special Events. This year we're providing up to 30 grants, starting at up to $1,000. It's like a reimbursement grant. So if you know of any nonprofits or community-based nonprofits that are interested in this specific grant, feel free to let them know that. Again, this closes next Monday, April 15th. And then for our youth, summer is coming, so our Learn and Earn program is an amazing opportunity for our students to participate. It is an internship, but it is a paid internship. You don't have to be a city resident. You can live in the county, Allegheny County, and still participate. And those applications are open from now to June 7th. Again, really focusing on the part of it's a paid internship. We want to make sure our students are taking advantage of this opportunity and getting this networking experience as well throughout the summer. If you need help applying, whether you're a parent, a grandparent, a family, a friend, or you have a kid that you know that should apply, but you just need help, whether just knowing which documents you need or just filling out the application, our office, the mayor's office, is more than happy to help you with that. And then in addition to that, it's almost summertime, so we want to make sure our pools are open. But in order for that to happen, we need enough lifeguards. So if you know of anyone who's interested in becoming a lifeguard, you don't need any prior experience. You submit your application. Once they look at it, they accept you. They'll reach back out to you and let you know and walk you and get you through that certification process. And then lastly, I just want to let you know, oh, two more things actually. Second to last thing is City in the Streets, the mayor's initiative to bringing local government to all 90 neighborhoods of the city is starting again this year, and we're kicking off in Spring Hill at the Spring Hill Park. So we're really excited to be there with you folks. This will be Thursday, May 30th. 5:30 to 7:30. More to come. We are working with Spring Hills community group in bringing out vendors and local organizations and any businesses to promote them. But we're really happy to be there. And then just to wrap up before I pass it over to Jan, I know he's on now, is we will be having a beautiful, really big celebration at Allegheny Commons on the north side. Tuesday, April 30th, starting at 6:30. It's going to be a ribbon cutting. So please tell your friends, families, neighbors to come out. We're going to be relighting the park. We're going to have all city departments there as well. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, it's a great way to connect with them as well. The mayor will be out there. I believe the councilman will also be out there. And we're having catering from Bistro to Go. So again, we're just coming together, not just as a neighborhood, but the entire north side to come celebrate a really great addition and new infrastructure coming to the park. So please, 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 we hope to see you there. If Troy Hill wants to have a table there, we'd be more than happy to provide that for you all. Yep. Again, we want to make sure that all of our neighborhoods are working together. So we're really excited, and the Perry High band will be there as well. So it's going to be a really big party, and can't wait to see you all. But yeah, those are all my announcements. If you have any questions, I'll stick around for a little bit. But if not, I'll go ahead and pass it to Jan, who I know has some news to share with you all.
Thanks, Lindsay. I'll pass it to Jan, and then I'll comment at the end.
Sounds good. Hi, everybody. Jan Rather. I'm the Infrastructure Engagement Specialist on the Neighborhood Services team. Work closely with Lindsay and other folks in the mayor's office. But my role really is to be sort of like the neighborhood engagement coordinator, but citywide for city infrastructure projects. So I know you all are very excited about the Cowley project, and so just going to share a little bit of an update, which is that where we are in our timeline should be ready to take this out to request for proposal for civil engineering in May. So we don't quite have all of the reports yet. But as soon as we have those, this will be able to go out to request for proposal through our ITQ process. And before we do that, we'll also make sure to share the various reports that we're waiting on from the contractor. So right now, the timeline is putting this out to bid in May, and then once the engineering professionals are on board, we'll start those community design, community engagement process. So a little bit behind on getting the reports completed and shared with you all, but do think we'll be able to hit that May timeline of getting this out to bid.
Can you just remind me, if you know, do you know all of the reports that they did? Like, do you know do you have the list of things that is sort of the hit list? Does it correspond pretty well with that document that Deputy Mayor gave us last year, or are there additional things?
So what I have in front of me is that it is the site survey, geotechnical data report, phase 1 ESA, feasibility site and building study, and the utility information. So I looked through that document. And I think that was everything that was included in that list. I don't know if it includes anything extra though.
Great. And you said that we can get a copy of all of those reports as soon as they're ready, right?
Yeah. So it's looking like the deadline for the consultant is the end of this month. So hopefully have that to you the first week of May before this goes out to bid.
Okay, great. And then I think the big piece that we are going to be thinking about, obviously, is that community engagement piece.
One of the big conversations we had around this was the last time we really talked to members about this and of our neighborhood was in 2018, and obviously the time. With the pandemic, obviously, like, things have changed so much. I think we all feel that. So we're really jazzed to get it back out there and reignite this conversation. And Lindsay, to your comment earlier about, like, it's not just Troy Hill, it's like the whole north side. We're definitely going to be working with our other neighborhood groups to get that information out there too. So Lindsay, I would love maybe towards the end of April if we can partner on a strategy for that, kind of before we start to roll anything out, just to make sure we're covering all our bases and we can help support where needed.
Yeah, and honestly, that's where our team is going to need your help, really, because when it comes to community engagement, your neighbors, where, people are like, when we go canvassing, where to go and everything like that, and just getting the word out is really important because, again, this is for your neighborhood. We want to make sure we hear from you rather than just proposing or building something that we think is the best, but really hearing from you all and what you all need.
Great. Thank you, Jan. I appreciate the update, and I appreciate having you as a touch point before so I don't have to bug Domi or Lindsay or anybody else constantly. I'm going to turn around to the room. Does anybody have any questions for the Community Engagement Office and about any other program? Anything that she mentioned? Anybody online, feel free to raise your hand or you can unmute. We do have an application we're putting in for that festival grant. It always supports our annual Pigtoberfest, which will be in September this year. We're moving it up so we can capture all that nice fall weather. So stay tuned for more information on that as we get closer to the date. But I think that sounds like it, Lindsay and Jan. So thanks so much. I know you have another meeting to get to, so we'll let you go.
Yeah, I just want to throw in there, it's obviously my first touch point with this community. Lindsay's obviously a great resource for you all to connect with, but if there's anything Domi or DPW related, always feel free to reach out to me as well. I can put my email in the chat for folks. So feel free to connect with me directly on those kinds of things as well, but I'm sure Lindsay has been flagging them when they come up. So thanks all.
Wonderful. I see Julianne on the line, I think, from Councilman Wilson's office. I would love if she could unmute and give us a couple updates if we've got any.
Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's having a nice evening. I have a few updates to piggyback off of Jan and Lindsay. There are some other upcoming events happening in our district that I just wanted to make everyone aware of. So like they mentioned the relighting of the Allegheny Commons. So that project was spearheaded through the Parks tax. That was the first use of the Parks tax funds. That was $800,000 allocated towards the park with partnership with the Parks Conservancy and Duquesne Light. So our office will also be there. We're looking forward to showcasing all the upgrades that have happened in the park. It makes it even better than it already was. So I hope everybody can attend on April 30th. Some other very upcoming events. Tomorrow, April 11th, we will be having a groundbreaking for the Davis Avenue Bridge, which connects Riverview Park to Brighton Heights. It's the bike pedestrian bridge that used to exist, and now we will be having it available again once it's built. So if anyone is interested to see, well, there's nothing there yet, but to come out and just sort of hear what the project, when it'll be finished and all of that, please come out to Riverview tomorrow at 11. I know there might be some weather issues, but we're looking forward to that. It's a really big, it's a big deal for the Riverview Park and Brighton Heights community. But again, parks are for everyone. So, and then this coming Saturday, April 13th, the Pennsylvania Resource Council is having an e-waste disposal event in Spring Hill from 9 to 1. And I'll share this info in the chat with the links. It does require advanced registration, but it's a great way to get rid of those items like TVs, computers, like any kind of electronics that you're not really sure what to do with. You don't want to just throw in the trash. They will take them and appropriately recycle and reuse them or whatever they do. So it's a good opportunity to do some spring cleaning. And then we have a lot going on. April 26th, there's a Northside Job Fair, which is organized by Northside Works and the PA Career Link. It's at PNC Park from 10 to 1. The Chamber of Commerce has really been pushing this event. So if you know of someone looking for a job, or you are looking for a job, or you want to see what's available, this is a great opportunity to come out and see what's there for everybody. So again, I'll put that link in the chat. And then on April 27th, there is an Arbor Day event happening at Riverview Park from 11 to 2. It's going to be like a very family-oriented event. There's lots of, there's going to be some self-guided tours of the park, just a great way to kind of come out together. I believe they will be designating the park as an official arboretum. So that's a huge deal. So if you are looking for something to do on April 27th, which I believe is Arbor Day, come to Riverview and enjoy the park. And then finally, in May, on May 14th, PWSA is going to be attending the East Allegheny Communities meeting. At the end of the meeting, the CEO from PWSA will be in attendance to discuss the state of the organization and to provide updates on what's going on with PWSA, infrastructure plans, anything that's going on with the organization. He's going to be there to talk, and also I would assume to answer any questions. So this is open to anyone can attend. That location has a bit space to host a larger crowd. So if you're interested in joining, that's May 14th, which is a Tuesday at 7 o'clock at the Allegheny, the ACAC Church on the north side. I can't remember what that stands for, but all of this will be in the chat. Any questions before I move on to one other update I have?
I don't think so. Let's see. Any questions about any of those events? It sounds like there's a lot going on.
There is a lot.
Yeah. Julianne, you're going to put the links in the chat, right? You said.
Yes. Yeah.
Great. Valerie, I see you with your hand up. Go ahead and fire away.
Hi, just a quick bump to your attention. I had sent an email last month at when we were in the last meeting, requesting some dates and times that Councilman Wilson, may be available to meet with parents around Act 47 and around the study that was requested by City Council back in 2021 around school closures and the impact on the community. I never heard back from anyone. Would you like me to bump that email again, or?
No, I mean, thank you for bringing that up. No, I have that in my inbox, and I apologize for not getting back. It has been a very busy month, so
Fully
yeah,
understand.
not to make excuses, but we have some legislation that has just been really taking our office's attention. So it's not that you're ignored; it's just that I have to kind of review the calendar for the councilman and see what's available. We should have some more availability coming in end of this month, early next month. So I'll talk to him and get back to you.
Perfect, thank you. Yeah, because they're going to be putting the recommendations forward for a vote on which schools to close and stuff in August.
Yeah, I saw.
So it's becoming a time. Yeah,
I've been seeing the news, so I understand the timeliness of your need. So I will I'll put that.
Yeah,
year.
next month can work as well. So I am flexible whenever is good for you. Thank you.
Sure.
Julianne, will you include me, and we can see if we can send a board member as a representative too, if Valerie doesn't mind us sitting on that conversation. I think it would be great to have some visibility and support behind their request.
Yeah, I'll loop you in when I get that conversation started with Councilman. So one other item I wanted to just mention, we got the notification from our friends at DOMI about the streets that they've selected to be paved for 2024. So in Troy Hill, they are going to be paving Lay Street from Rialto to Sunderman. And all of the paving in our district will begin on April 15th. I don't know specifics as to when this particular street will be paved, but this paving season begins next Monday. So you'll probably see some no parking signs on that street just to alert anyone that would park on there to not do that. So yay.
Okay, thank you for that update.
Yep.
Questions, concerns, to council stuff? Yes, Penny.
So she said on Lay Street.
Lay Street from Rialto to Sunderland.
Yes.
Yep.
Looks like on Monday, because right now we're not allowed to park anywhere.
I think, no, not till May 15th.
Oh, okay.
Paving season kicks, paving season will kick off Julianne, is paving season April 15th kickoff or May 15th?
I believe it's they told us that our paving will start in April, and it usually goes numerically when they do their district-wide paving. So ours is the first district. So I assume that April 15th is like officially the kickoff.
One of our neighbors is just flagging the fact that PWSA has a ton of streets blocked off right now for no parking. So you might just want to connect with the team and make sure that they are talking to PWSA about what streets they're closing at the same time. Just because residents may not have any option to park if everything's closed.
Okay, yeah, we have a touch base with Domi tomorrow, so I'll just mention that to them. I mean, they usually are very good about working with the utility companies when they have, like, they know when those closures are, but just in case they've missed that one, I'll remind them.
Got it. Okay. So yes, you were right. Sorry, I heard May. I thought May. I heard May in my head.
There's a lot of dates I threw out there, so understood if you got confused by the dates.
No, it sounds like this kicks off, it'll start on.
Lay behind me is no parking right now. Lowry's all no parking.
I know, yeah, it's
For a
really,
month.
yeah,
It goes down for a month, we're not allowed to park.
yeah, it's a little challenging up here parking.
I hear your pain, and I feel you. I understand. The parking is always, especially with PWSA construction, it gets a little tricky sometimes.
We do, Jillian, we do have some complaints from some neighbors about the PWSA contractor work from the recent lead line replacement and testing. There's just some neighbors who have some concerns about, concrete being torn up and that's not being replaced, properly, et cetera. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to put together a list of those complaints, the addresses, the specific information. And then I would love your team's help. And honestly, if the PWSA CEO is going to be at the East Allegheny meeting, I mean, I'm happy to go there and follow up, but I would like to get a list to them ahead of time just to see if there's something we can do for those neighbors. So
yeah, if you send over that'd be great to compile it in one document, and I can share it with our contact at PWSA and see where we can go from there and get some answers for you.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
Anybody on the Zoom have any questions for Julianne or Councilman Wilson's office? Julianne, do you want to give us like a quick, like a 1 minute commercial for the zoning amendment that Councilman Wilson put forward? Do you want to talk about that at all? I'm not sure when it comes up for a vote or what the situation is, but.
Yeah, I mean, it's timely because today was public comment for our amendment. So we introduced this zoning change amendment in, I believe, January of this year. So the amendment would allow for attached housing to be implemented by right in parcels that are less than 35 feet wide. And if anything is over 35 feet, they would have to get a special exemption through the zoning administrator. So the purpose of this is to reduce the barriers that anyone that was looking to build houses would have to go through to build attached homes, because the current way the zoning is written is you would have to get a variance, and there's not only time, but there's money associated with that process. And as we all are aware, there's housing crisis, not just in our city, but nationwide, but we need to be able to build more homes. So the purpose and the goal would be to allow for more housing to be built on parcels that are vacant, that we could build attached homes and not only focus on single family homes. So we're getting more people into more housing, ideally at a more affordable cost. So we're lucky that I believe 8 of 9 council members, besides Councilman Wilson, who's the sponsor, we've had 7 additional co-sponsors of the bill. And the Planning Commission also positively recommended this legislation. And so the process where we are now is today we just had public comment. which we heard from both sides of the argument of the pro and the con for this legislation. And then the next step, I believe it goes back to standing committee to then be voted, ideally affirmatively recommended, and then it would go to regular committee for final vote. And once it would pass, then the mayor signs it into law, and then it would be a zoning change that would be implemented if anyone is looking to build an attached home in a lot 35 feet or less, or whatever the bill will change the zoning for that kind of building, if that is clear, I hope.
I think I heard a little bit about this actually from the East Allegheny community group, and I think I think it seems like it makes sense. So thank you so much for just letting us, giving us a little preview of what that looks like. Does anybody have any? Julianne. Okay, great. I'm going to pass it off to Jackie from Representative Powell's office. Jackie, if you want to unmute, give us any updates you have for our crew.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me. Hope everyone's having a great night. We also have some community events going on, so sorry to add more to the list, but I'll make sure to send it in the chat as well. So on April 27th, that's a Saturday, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., we're having a free shredding event with Senator Lindsey Williams' office. So that will be in Kiwanis Park in Shaler. It's right across from the Shaler Municipal Building. I'll drop the address in the chat as well. So that will be a limit of 2 boxes per car. We will also have our Veterans Assistance Office hours. Those are on the second Monday of each month. So if you are a veteran, a veteran who needs assistance navigating their benefits, we have someone from the VA office in office from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. to assist people navigate those benefits, sit down and talk through, anything that they may need help with. And we are also having a senior for safe driving course. This will be on May 18th, and that is also a Saturday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And that will be at the Goodwill in Lawrenceville. I will drop the address as well in the chat for that. And that's for anyone 55 years and up who is looking to save money on their car insurance. You'll get a discount for completing the course. It's $17 to enroll in that. And that is what's happening around the district. Still, property tax rent rebate applications are open until June 30th, and we can help you apply in office. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. And again, I'll put all of those events in the chat as well.
Fabulous. Any questions for Jackie? For Lindsey Powell's office? Anybody online? Any questions for Jackie? Great. I mean, I love spring. All the events, just we're popping off. Okay, let's see what's on my to-do list next. First of all, have all of our online guests, anybody who's here to chime in about anything? Everyone's had a moment to speak. I think so. I think we've covered everybody. Okay, great. I'm going to give a couple Troy Hill updates, and then we actually have 2 special guests from West Banco, Jen and Shelley. They're here to tell us about some amazing home buyer programs and loans. So we're gonna let them have the rest of the meeting. But I just want to give a couple Troy Hill focused updates first. So the first and biggest thing is that we will be probably hosting our meetings in a new space in June. The reason for this, the VFW is awesome. We love the VFW. Everyone should be a member of their bar downstairs. Come hang out. But we need an ADA accessible space because we are applying for our registered community organization status for the city of Pittsburgh. So because of that, the space needs to be ADA accessible. There's some stairs here. Unfortunately, there's no ramp. So we have to change locations. So thank you to Chris. Thank you to Sam, who's not here, but thank you to everybody at the VFW who's been such gracious hosts, the last couple months. So actually the last year and a half. So stay tuned. We'll put that in a newsletter when we have a new location. Most Holy Name School Hall has graciously offered up their space. So we may be back at Most Holy Name. But again, stay tuned for that. But speaking of the VFW, there's a blood drive this Saturday, April 13th. Register in advance, and you can answer some screening questions. There's a bunch of slots left over. We're looking to just add to our community give back and make sure that if you feel like you can donate blood, please feel free to come by the VFW. It's 10 a.m. to 2:30 this Saturday, April 13th. So, what was that? Walk-ins too. Walk-ins too. Register in advance, come walk in, donate some blood, all for a good cause, obviously. So, we have some paper flyers for those of you here in the room, and we will drop that in the e-newsletter, which we will send out before the weekend, so you can get that information. There's also, after you donate blood, and hopefully go home and have a nap, you can go over to game night at the St. Anthony's Lyceum. It's 6:30 to 10 p.m. They're going to have cornhole, cards, shuffleboard, ping pong, all kinds of stuff. You can buy food, pretzels, snacks. So please feel free to go for a fun game night. Again, after you've gone home and have a little rest since you donated some blood earlier that day. The other thing I want to call out is that on April 20th, 2024, which I believe, I don't know why I said 2024, of course that's the year. I think that's a Saturday, yes. Saturday, April 20th, Allegheny Cleanways is coming to Troy Hill, okay? We love them. They do great cleanup work. We are going to be at the stairs on the back of Claim and Hatteras Street. There's an illegal dump site there. Tons of stuff to clean up. So we're going to be registering people. It's going to be from 9 to 11:30 a.m. Please feel free, if you want to come out and pick up some trash, they're going to have all the supplies there for you. Let's join Allegheny Cleanways and let's show up for Troy Hill and see if we can, clean up some of that mess back there. There's an Earth Day celebration directly after the cleanup at Strange Roots in Millvale. So if you want to come to the cleanup and then go have a well-deserved beer, you can do that as well. Last but not least, I'm so excited. Our Troy Hill Community Yard Sale is back this year. We've been talking about this, but I'm so excited. It's going to be such a great day. It's going to be Saturday, May 11th. It'll be 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Lindsay, I'll send this to you, and maybe you can help blast it out to your group too. But it's not just for Troy Hill residents. However, we're going to have all of our neighbors that are registering to sell. We'll have houses throughout the neighborhood. We have over 30 different houses registered to sell their goods. In addition, at Troy Hill Citizens Park, we're going to have food, live music. We have over a dozen vendors selling things like jewelry, handmade soaps, candles. Follow us on Facebook. There's an event on there. And we're also going to be posting on Instagram to get some awareness behind some of the vendors we'll have before that Saturday. We're really excited also because Scratch, of course, on Frohman and Lowry Street, they're going to close down the street on Frohman. We're going to have some DJs. They're going to do food there. So we'll kind of have a couple different places in the neighborhood for you to hang out that day. We're hoping to bring in a ton of people from the north side. And again, it's a great opportunity if you're a Troy Hill neighbor, clean out your basement. One person's trash is another person's treasure, et cetera, et cetera. But if you don't have anything to sell, then just come out and have some food and drink, and maybe you'll find your own treasure. So, any questions about the yard sale or anything else going on in Troy Hill? Okay, great. I'm super excited to introduce Shelly and Jen from West Banco. And what I would love, ladies, if you wouldn't mind coming up, do you want to sit or do you want to stand? Because I'm gonna turn the camera towards you a little bit. If you can either sit at these end chairs or you can stand, and then we'll get you on camera. Make sure we get you on camera there. Oh, look at that, lovely. Okay, go ahead. Turn it over to you.
I am the banking center manager of Troy Hill, West Banco, just right around the corner on Lowry Street. I just recently joined the team there. I've been with the bank for a little while, and just recently joined the team there mid last year. Shelly, I have worked very closely with for that time. She's taken over as mortgage loan officer for my branch as well as several other branches. She and I have been talking a lot about grants and assistance programs that can really assist our community in home ownership. And so I was talking to Abby, and I think it's a great idea. I wanted to introduce Shelly Roberts, and maybe she can tell us a little bit more about this program.
Thank you for having us. We have a new grant, and I have some flyers, some forms that if I can send them to you, if you can send them out, I would love to. I should have done it ahead of time. I apologize. We have a new grant coming out from the Federal Home Loan Bank. We have partnered with them. It's called the First Front Door Grant. This is a grant that we get each year at this time. It's funds. It normally used to be $5,000. It is now $15,000. I am so excited for this. It is also partnered with a new grant, which is called the KEYS grant, and that is for minority-based people, or if you are the first generational home ownership. So any race, any color, any person, if you've been in a home that your parents haven't owned a home, nobody else has owned a home, you can also qualify for this grant. Now, the first front door is income. All grants are always income-based. That is 80% of what's called AMI, which is the average median income. And for one person, for existence, that would be around $56,700. This goes well for a lot of single parents, single mother, single father, someone with a few children normally can qualify for this. The keys to equity, which is the minority base, is 120% of that. Opens it up to so many people, and I cannot wait to give one of these out. I can't wait. Unfortunately, they only last for a very short time. They have X amount of funds. Once they run out, they're gone. We can save a spot for this, and what I mean by saving a spot is you can get pre-qualified for a mortgage, which means we're gathering your information, getting everything, make sure that your income falls into line. Then we can apply for this grant starting on the 16th of April, so next week. They'll save that spot for you, and it's good for around 6 months.
Oh, wow.
So you don't have to have a house in mind today or tomorrow.
You could be shopping. You could be
Yes,
shopping.
yes, yes.
Great.
And anybody that's been looking for a home in this market, you're shopping. It's horrible. But I can show the income. Also, there is another program that is called the Own Pittsburgh. I'm not sure if anybody's heard of that yet. This is only for the city of Pittsburgh homes. This is also income. This income is $56,250 for one person. This will give up to $90,000 to individuals or families for home ownership. It is city of Pittsburgh. It is very strict with that. What they do is, I find in pre-qualifying these people, it feels like the more debt they have, it all factors into debt to income, which is what your bills are, what your monthly minimum bills are, divided by your income, your monthly take-home income, your monthly gross take-home income. So I feel like I find more times a lot of people that have these student loans that are just lingering. I love to see the student loans for this Own Pittsburgh. That's the only time I want to see those student loans, unfortunately. Yes. So it's, I love to see student loans when it's this grant. There's another grant. A lot of people don't know what this is. It comes with the URA, and it's for Pittsburgh as well. And this also is income-based. The income guidelines are all slightly different for each grant. This one for one person, under 80% is $56,250. You can apply for, you can get either $7,500 or $5,000. The $5,000, you can go up to 115%, so that's a little bit better. That is $80,000, $845 for the income yearly for that grant. This is a grant where it is a deferred loan. As long as you live in the home for 5 years, you do not have to pay back the loan. A lot of people in the city got these URA loans. A lot of your parents would have gotten these, and they were up to these large amounts back in the day to get people into the city, and that's what it's for. Since the city of Pittsburgh has a high transfer tax, and what the transfer tax is it's a percentage of what you pay. Pittsburgh is 5%. And normally the buyer and the seller split that difference. Most often, almost 99.9% of the time do they do that. And I also want to include one more other piece of paper. We have some HUD-approved housing counseling agencies, which is excellent for the people that really don't know what to do when you buy a home. They want to know, how does my credit need to look? How much money do I need for a down payment? I will attach these, and if you can send these out, that would be wonderful. And these, we work closely with NeighborWorks. They do a lot of home counseling, like workshops in areas like this. So so please, if you need any information, you can reach out to me via these, or just stop in and see Jennifer.
I would love to see any of you.
Yes.
Yeah, West Bank, I love you decorated for every holiday.
No,
We were just talking about that.
No, I hired the person who did it. Oh, no.
You outsourced it,
No, I did. And in fact, I told her after I started seeing the branch, I said, you know what? I haven't hung pictures on my home walls yet, so you should come over.
Seriously.
Does anybody in the room have any questions for Dennis? Did you say there's one there that they grant you $90,000?
That is own Pittsburgh, yes. Yeah, I've got the brochures over here. Take
I
them
have
home.
friends who were looking at the URA ones to go to Vegas. They have the same program, but I'm gonna do it across you.
Yes, yes. Yes, only so many banks do that own Pittsburgh. We just were accepted in November. They'll put us on the website in a bit, but yeah. Yeah, thank you.
So she says we were just accepted in November. I would like to give a shout out. Shelley worked tirelessly with Linda Wargo, her predecessor, to get that grant program, for West Banco to be able to participate in that. So, I mean, she's being kind of modest there. She worked her tail off for that.
I say free money. If it's there, I will find it for you. The first thing I do is look at people's income, and I'm like, okay, what can I give them? I love giving free money. I love
That's
it.
amazing. I love that.
We brought cookies. We love cookies.
Oh, yeah.
We love giving
Sorry
things.
for everybody on Zoom.
Sorry for you on Zoom. You should have come.
Yeah.
Does anybody on Zoom have any questions? I have a question if no one else has one. Okay, my question is, for these programs, are there any, like a lot of times the down payment is really hard for folks. Can any of these dollars be used for down payment?
That's what they're for.
Oh,
That's
okay,
what
okay.
they're for. They
I didn't
can
know if
go.
they would go to the mortgage principal, like the
Nope,
mortgage
nope.
principal or, oh wow, okay, great.
That is why they were created,
Yeah.
because that is the biggest obstacle for people purchasing homes is the down payment.
Yeah.
Most people think you need 20%. You don't have to have 20%. The minimum you need is 3%. However, these grants can fill those holes in.
Yeah.
I've had people come to closings with $7. That's,
Wow, that's amazing.
yeah,
That's great.
with the URA grant, yes, yes, yes.
And you mentioned the transfer tax, so like potentially it would cover like closing
Yeah,
costs.
yes, it covers all of that, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. They were made specifically for that very reason. They saw a need, and that's why they're there.
Fabulous.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes.
I love that.
Does bank do the home inspection or something like that?
The only one, banks don't like to see the home inspections. We don't need to know. We do the appraisal, and that's what we base any issues on. I don't want to know what the inspection is. However, the OWN Pittsburgh requires a home inspection. So that is something that you would need to get someone, and we can.
That's the URA one, right?
No, that's the URA does do the OWN Pittsburgh, but that's separate. The OWN, it is a URA program, but it's not, OWN Pittsburgh is its own entity, its whole own thing. They do require that inspection. The URA, not the same thing, but they'll actually, OWN Pittsburgh will jump over here and say, hey, you can do a URA grant as well. They kind of take ownership of everything once we give it to them.
And with the OWN Pittsburgh one, would you say it has similar standards to some of the FHA-backed loans in terms of the inspection?
It does need to be livable, yes, yes. And in these times, this would be, an OWN Pittsburgh is a loan that's a little harder to get that seller to accept because of exactly like an FHA. FHA is looking for safety and things like that. So they are going to also be looking for, that's why they require the home inspection. So they will be doing that, and it does take around 2 to 2.5 months to close. So it's a little more difficult. But we've got something called land leases that we can talk at another time. We'd love to come back and talk about fraud. Fraud is...
Yeah, we talked about that.
We
did.
did. I would love to come back at any time. I would really love to see, our community itself get involved in that and just come out and listen or sign on and listen. It's rampant. It's absolutely rampant. And I just, she likes to give money away. I just like to keep money for you. I don't want you to lose any money. She gives it away, but,
Yeah, I give it. She makes sure you keep it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So,
that'll be great.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We had somebody LLC call our phone and ask, you ready to sell, you ready to sell. I said, I will not sell to an LLC. I'll sell to, somebody first buyer or something.
Oh, my goodness.
We can call those flippers, and we
Yeah.
don't lend to flippers. And what they do is when people get mortgages and when they start turning all of those when the deeds start turning over very quickly, then that's alerted, like, okay, something's going on here. This house is being flipped.
Mm.
Yeah, we don't encourage that. It happens, yes.
Oh, sure, I
They-
think, the
yeah.
market is.
They usually
They
use
try
cash.
for
They
it.
normally use cash for that, and then
Yeah,
yeah, we want people to be in homes,
absolutely.
not.
That are going to stay in them.
Oh, yeah, there's.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, we've got
yeah.
anything you want. I'll take you out to a trunk.
We do drive by.
For those of you on Zoom, we will, post this, I'll send this out actually we're gonna do a newsletter, probably tomorrow or Friday to capture some of this information. We'll make sure we link to all of these, amazing programs so that you can spread the word. And we'll include Shelley and Jen's contact in case anybody needs.
Please do, thank you.
Yeah.
And we want everybody's contact information too.
Absolutely.
This is the most informative community meeting I have ever been to.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah, she was like,
Amanda wanted that.
nudging me.
Not like this,
I mean, you know
yeah.
what, we have great, I mean, I
You do a
saw we
great
have great partners.
Yeah.
Our city, our state, you know, everybody shows up, these meetings, really appreciate it. It's a little Parks and Rec sometimes, but in a good way.
No, I love it.
I want to,
I love it.
I want to know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Everyone that's really organized and got it going together.
This is wonderful.
Very exciting. Does anybody online have any questions for, Jen or Shelley? Anything else related to West Banco, banking, any questions about mortgages? Stop in and see them anytime. Like I said, their office is always decorated for the holidays.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I'm gonna turn this little camera back here. I think that's all we have today. So if there is there any other business we need to talk about, we need to bring up? Lindsay? Yes? No? Good? Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody, for your time. We will post this meeting recording on our YouTube channel. Follow us on social media. If you're not a member, $10 for the year supports all of our programs, including the yard sale. And our next meeting will be June 12th in a new location to be announced. Thank you very much and have a great night. I'm going to end.
Thank you all.